Hi guys, it's Darren here from Voodoo. My first tutorial. We're going to attempt to make some really cheap bunkers for Trench Crusade, 40k and anything else that's suitable really. Now it's a polystyrene cup. I used to do a soup run in Loughborough many years ago when I was a lot younger, and I bought loads of these for the teas and coffees to hand out, and I had loads spare in the shed, so I thought, what can I make? So yeah, what I've done, I've run it through the Proxon, took the top off, and it's roughly 6 centimeters in height. And you can see I've just eyeballed where the little slits are going to go. I've got a 32mm marine there, so I've just popped that inside and roughly cut those to his eye line. And I've made a crack in the cup. I've overlapped the bricks, and once the PVA is dry, I'm going to trim that back and get it all painted up. I've given the top a little bit of a thin coat of PVA because I'm going to use some homemade texture paste, which is basically sand, PVA and polyfiller, and that's going to have a nice muddy effect. I intend to put a cross on the top, a cross on the side. Now this XPS is 6mm, which I've roughly cut in half. If you can do 2mm, 3mm, 4mm, you will get some different brick depths, and that's going to make it more realistic. Not going to worry about texturing the bricks until after it's dry, but what I do with the bricks is I bend the corners by just pressing them into my rather worn cutting mat. So just pressing them down, just to round off the corners, as you can see, and then just working them. Might be a bit hard to do one-handed, but working it round into a sort of a curvy shape, and then just put the glue on the polystyrene cup and stick them on. You can see a little bit tricky around the slits there, but yeah, I'll come back later when it's all painted up with the texture paste on, and we'll see how we go. So you can see I've put the texture paste on now. And before that, I actually made a little square because I've made a wooden cross, and there's a little bit of a poster that's going to have a brown wash to stick on the side, but the base of the cross is square, so I've just made a little square there, and underneath a big hole, a square hole going all the way through the cup, and to stop it from slipping, I've just PVA'd a little bit of XPS on the base at the top there. So yeah, I'm going to stick the cross in, finish the texture paste in, paint it all up, and then I'll come back. So here it is, all painted. I've used a dark grey base coat, which is a neutral grey, again from Wilkinson's. That's $1.99. And I don't really know why a lot of people do the Mod Podge and black. The foam is really dark anyway, the XPS is really dark, and the Mod Podge really, it's mostly PVA. If I'm doing an oil-based wash, oil-based washers can melt the foam, will melt the foam, and this stuff will stop it just as good, the Gorilla Wood Glue. Put some of that in your base coat instead of buying expensive Mod Podge would be my tip, and it does stop the softening of the foam. If you're using a water-based wash, I wouldn't bother Mod Podging it anyway, or PVAing it. And I don't know why the people paint it black, because like I've said, the foam's dark and it's just an extra step that I don't think you need. Yeah, it might protect it a little bit, but I don't know. So yeah, I just normally give it a dark grey and a highlight. Now obviously these are going to be quick and easy, but if you had more time, then you could paint some individual brick colours. You could do like a leopard, spotty leopard print over it with different browns. You could wash it in a black wash, and yeah, you could make these look really nice. But for this video, I just wanted to show you the basics, and yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to dry, do the mud highlight, do the cross, put the poster on, and we'll see what it looks like. I forgot to mention the light grey highlight after we've done the dark base coat when it's dry, and here's what it is. It's on the right. It's again a neutral grey. It's very different because it's a different make of paint, but when it's dry, give it a dry brush of that. Basically get some paint on your brush, get a paper towel, wipe off most of the paint, and give it a good dry brush. And you can have a heavy dry brush because I've actually given this a black water-based wash as well. There's plenty of tutorials on how to make a wash. Now for the mud highlight, I've just used something a bit lighter than the Van Dyke Brown. It's the Burnt Umber and the Raw Sienna. I've just mixed them 50-50, just a small amount to get that colour for the mud. Now for the wooden cross, you can see it's just had a dark brown, it's just had one dark brown coat of paint, if I can get it into focus. And you can see it looks pretty nice because it's had a German beige dry brush. It just makes it look a bit older. Whether the camera's picking that up, but that's the German beige I use on the wood. And it's just a nice colour, just to make the wood look a little bit older. You could actually put some blood spots around the crack. When it's been fired at, there's been someone standing there. The poster needs sticking on, just needs straightening up. I've only just done the poster, needs straightening up. Not over happy with the poster, to be honest. I think if you went on the internet and looked for religious crusades, and if you had a printer, you'd be able to print something nice off. But just for this demo, you can actually make one, obviously. We're trying to keep it as cheap as possible. Wouldn't cost you a lot. I think the total cost for this is about £1 in materials. Didn't take long to make. Like I've said, there are improvements you could do to it. Things I'd do again differently. I'll probably paint the polystyrene cup first, all over on the outside as well, because where these little holes are where I've rounded the bricks off, I had to get a small brush because I could still see the white showing through. So I'd probably paint the cup first in the dark grey, let it dry, and then put the bricks on. Maybe next time I'd probably brick it all and then cut the slits out. Maybe you could do a 1 centimetre gap and keep it in line with the mortar, or where the bricks are stacking, instead of chopping half a brick here, half a brick there. But yeah, I mean, for a cheap piece of terrain, it's not bad. It's not bad. Quick and easy and very cheap to make. Hope you enjoy that one, guys. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.